I was born in Dayton, Kentucky, a very small city, 1963. I was left in the hospital actually because my mom actually didn't want me. And I remember my grandfather sharing the story with me and telling me about how he had signed me out of the hospital, and actually he named me. But I was raised in Memphis, Tennessee as a youngster, where I spent the majority of my younger years until I was 12 years old. And moved back. My mom moved me to Kentucky for various reasons because of our lifestyle, and I grew up in a very, very abusive home, alcoholism and child molestation, and so my mom moved us to Kentucky to try to get away from that. And as a young adult, I guess all those things had already begun to take an effect in my life, and I began to act out all the attitudes that I had from suffering from the abuse and things that had penetrated my life. And I found myself doing things that the normal teenager did not do, and I winded up in jails and in prisons and just homeless and just being in a place that I really, really didn't want to be in. I was running from God. I had no place to go. And I had some friends that lived in Indianapolis that I grew up with, that actually this lady used to take care of me when I was a child. She was more of a mother to me than my mother was to me. And so she allowed me to come and stay with her. And just like when she took care of me as a teenager, she took care of me again. And she was bedridden, but that's just the way that she was. She loved me like I was her own. I got involved at Victory. There were some young adults that stopped by. They were knocking on doors, and we got into a conversation. They showed me a brochure. They invited me to church there, and I told them yes. And as me being a convicted felon, the one thing that we stick to said, you know, if our word is no good, we're no good. So I had to stick to my word, and I had to go. And we had built a really good relationship and a rapport, and I was coming out off and on here to see what the farm was about, and I really liked it. At that time, it was like a way to get away, you know, because I really was tired of the city. It was just too much trouble for William in the city. There's too much for me to get into, and I was looking to get out of that. I was looking to get away from that, but living in that is just difficult to get away from something that you're actually living in, you know? And so I tried to stay close to those guys and stay a part of Victory because I really, truly didn't want to live that life anymore. And most importantly, I found some people that love me, that care about me, and that were willing to take the time to spend with me and say, you know what, this guy just needs to be loved. And that was what has been missing out of my life. And I think that was the, without love, I guess that was, you could say, that's the fuse that lit the fire, that had me going through the things that I was doing and all the things that I'd gotten into in my life. But coming out here, learning and seeing a different way of life that I didn't know existed, and I was intrigued by it. I was intrigued by being out here in this environment and in the atmosphere because it was different. And I did feel a sense of liberty or peace and love that I hadn't experienced really there in the city that was here at Victory Acres.